How is is everyone good? Are you like? Thank you for standing in line. We're all very glad to see you. I'm glad people actually turned out. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I don't want to talk about women's issues. That's so. As you know, we're here to be completely humorless and sap all joy. Our academic discussion. Well, not in yet. I don't want you guys to see the dirty secrets, which are up on the screen right now. Yeah, they can see the brand. So my name is Lindsay. I do a web show on thatguywiththeglasses.com called Nostalgia Chick. It's supposed to be like the girl version of Nostalgia Critic, but that didn't last too long.
This is working. My name is Elisa. I work with Lindsay on the Nostalgia Chick with that guy with the glasses.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Shanahan, or I go by Katie Shaw on the net. I'm a comic artist and a cartoonist, and I'm here for today's discussion.
So, I've been kind of wanting to do a panel like this for a while, because I think that the rise of the internet has led to some interesting developments in gender relations and definition and all that sort of fun stuff, particularly in what women can expect when doing anything on the internet or in the social media context, be it gaming or cartooning or a web series or anything that is, will have your name on it and your gender attached to it. So I found this video that I thought might be fun to start off with. This website, I like it at uglyorslutty.com. So I think they had a very good summation of words to live by for female gamers. So let's see if we can get the thing working.
Can you turn up the volume a little bit?
Technical people.
Sorry, you don't have to do it.
Yes, I think this is working. No. Yeah, we're gonna see if I can.
This is Doris. Doris is tired from a hard day of cooking and cleaning and just needs to relax. Doris wants to unwind and forget about the stresses of her day by playing some electronic television games. That's a swell idea. But wait a minute. There are a few simple rules you need to follow if you are going to play online and have a nice, civilized game. Let's get started. Now, the first thing you'll have to do is choose your name. This is how people all over the world will know and refer to you. No, that won't do it all. A lady's name would be far too distracting for the other players. The area called the subcortical tissue for uncivilized profanity and insults, also known as the stupid. Players say naughty things not suited for your delicate ears. Now, Doris, you wouldn't want to cause any problems like that, would you? No, of course you wouldn't. There we go. That's a good girl. Okay, you're all set and ready to play. Just remember the 3 rules. Don't have a distracting username. Don't have a distracting avatar. Don't distract other players with your voice. And remember, it's the internet. You can go anywhere, do anything, and be whoever you want to be.
I really like this website. I don't know if you're not familiar with it. The basic treatise of the site is to not get sad about idiots who are misogynists, but to make fun of them. Which I think, if you're going to handle it, is one of the better ways. So I had a few other talking points that could be talked at, but I thought that it would be more interesting if we kind of open it up to a discussion. Because I feel like I feel like we the 3 of us kind of represent a spectrum. Like when I first started doing my show, it was always on the political side, and so I tended to do things from like a girl perspective and a female perspective. And Lisa would work on my show, but she more like on just the analytical stuff for stuff's sake.
Analyzing things from a perspective of whether it's good or not. And I mean, women being good, so sometimes I'm interested in someone not in a game or in a game, female characters are less likely to be good than men, and that's not the statement. So I may talk about that a bit more with others, but I'm not necessarily as politically focused as feminine.
Turn what up?
We can't hear anything in the back. Can you turn up the volume or anything? We couldn't hear the video or the mics.
How about now?
No.
Well, I've got some lovely reverb.
Theater voice.
We'll just make up.
Yeah, we'll just yeah, I'm sorry, this is like a interestingly acoustic room, especially for so many people. But I think there have been a lot of, I guess things have been, sorry. So as I was saying, like on Katie's end, since she doesn't really, you can go ahead and speak for yourself.
I guess I was going to say I represent just kind of, just the average gamer artist. I'm kind of just doing things, I draw things because I want to draw things. It's stories just about my life because I want to tell stories about that. I haven't, I guess, put too much thought into having to look at issues and be critical or things like that. Just kind of, but I mean, ultimately you end up dealing with them anyway because it's out there. And, it's kind of as you were saying earlier. It's like maybe it represents someone starting up, and you'll have to get to know what they might do.
I feel like most people, when they go on the internet to do anything, whether it's in a discussion or draw a webcomic or whatever, you're not doing it to make a statement, you're doing it because you like doing it. You just might run into some dumb shit because people are stupid.
And as a minority, if women are a minority on the internet, like any other minority group, when you get by the majority, they are expected to act as a representation of that minority instead of as a person who is just a person.
Oh yeah. No, I've got a funny story. I'll do that and we can open it up for a second. And the reason I want to tell this story is I feel like it's a really good example, even though it's just kind of real life, because it was kind of in the workplace, but it took place online, so I think it counts. Alright, so, last year, I was, we were filming this web movie that we do, and it was called Suburban Nights. People said they often don't like it, which is okay. We were filming this video, and one of the guys Phalis was talking to me about, do you remember that Aussie guy who used to work for the website? And I was like, yeah, what about him? And he got fired for like making up weird stuff and like saying I honestly don't know what it was that got him fired, but I do know that after he got fired, I got a lot of people coming to me by IM apologizing and saying, I'm really sorry I avoided you, and he said some nasty stuff about you, and all of the girls, in fact, and I was like, okay. I talked to this guy like 3 times maybe, whatever. So like a year later, this guy, like Phalis was telling me, like, did you hear what he said about you? And I was like, no, guy, it's been 3 years, move on. And he's like, yeah, he was like talking with these bros of his online about, because they like to crap on our website because it's fun. And they told him about they asked him what was the worst thing about filming that first year anniversary, and he goes, oh well, I had to dodge a blowjob from the nostalgia chick.
Dodge! She's like hiding behind.
Yeah. He's like walking down the hall. And like waiting around the and there was this awkward pause. I only listened to it like once, but there was this pause where these bros go, why would you avoid a blowjob even if you don't think the girl is attractive? And he said, well, I don't want sandpaper on my dick. 2 things. One, sandpaper. Have you been receiving fellatio from cats? 2, has anyone seen the 40-Year-Old Virgin? Like, the scene where he's like, yeah, they're like bags of sand. And I'm like, there it is. That's it. I'm just like, in my experience, like, and it's funny, sometimes I'll tell people that anecdote, because I still haven't spoken to that guy. Sometimes he pops up in trouble with it and whatever. And I'll tell people that, and they're like, how can you live with that? Why don't you go out and defend your honor? And I'm like, it's the internet, man. That's what people, like, clearly this guy's a little exceptionally out there, but, sandpaper. How would we like to did you, if you guys have, like, questions or points of discussion that you might like to talk about based on your own experiences? Do any of you have breasts? Oh yeah. That was actually a thing. Well, I guess I said that because the very first video I ever did, I was wearing a shirt not unlike this, which I guess this is kind of the clothes I wear. I didn't really even think about it, and I got so much rage about that. Like, you're just trying to get views, you little slut. And I was like, I was kind of shocked because I was like, that's a shirt I wear all the time. I didn't even think about it. I'm sorry for my dirty pillows. I'm gonna go cry in the confessional now.
What's the bow tie?
Yeah, swearing. This has since abated because I think like people that didn't like my show just stopped watching it. But at first, I got a lot of pushback on swearing because I have to very late to mouth. And I guess it's another thing where I don't really notice that I swear. I'm just like, yeah, and it's like when people would hear that coming out of a girl's mouth, they'll be like, no, like something in the brain just is like wrong, and I get a lot of feedback on that, like you shouldn't swear. It's funny when Doug does it, but it's wrong when you do it.
Not that I've seen. I've actually been very lucky. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. No, I don't go for a chance.
Nobody goes there. I mean,
Those places that say the bad things. But no, the worst I've ever gotten was she overdose. You don't say. But I think because I did it as part of a character, I'm not trying to represent the average girl or a girl who you could know. Whereas where Lindsay comes from, she is she's supposed to be the female version of Doug, so she's supposed to be the nerdy girl who watches too much movies at home, which it could be you, so you want to watch her because she's like you, which is a lot of what internet viewership is. So people who watch Lindsay will feel more threatened because it's a reflection on them. Whereas when people watch me, unless they really are a super overly goth vampire wannabe who doesn't leave the house and just watches vampire movies all the time, they probably won't care.
Yeah. I remember when I first started, I had a brain. I don't remember the thing I was about to say 30 seconds ago. Damn it. No, it was about accessibility. That was a big surprise to me because I kept getting like all these like, and this is also sensitivity because I'm pretty sure I'm old hat now, but yeah, I would get all these comments like, oh my god, you're so hot, and everything. And I'm like, you have like, movie stars. Like, I found that so odd. Like, because I'm just like, I mean, I'm not ugly, but I don't feel like I'm exceptional in a world with like Megan Fox in it. And I found it odd that everyone just like, it's accessibility. When you're on the internet and you're a girl and they're just like, you're close to my level. And I find that really kind of sexy.
I could actually get there.
Yeah. You try. One of them succeeded. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you know about that feminist critic, Ina Sarkeesian?
Oh yeah. I actually talked to her the other
What
day.
happened with her? It was all about that Kickstarter thing where she was doing this video about that she was going to do like a series about like female characters in video games, and she just got a huge backlash of like people joking, making this comments or whatever. So,
Don't tell me I like something that's not.
did that upset you that this would happen, or what did you make of it?
How many people have not heard about this? Anita Sarkeesian feminist frequency. Okay. Actually, some girl was sticking for her earlier today. Okay, so okay, so this woman has been doing these videos that are basically, it's kind of similar to my show, but it's a lot more academic. And she's not really trying to be funny. She's trying to like, I am going to talk about feminist interpretation, blah blah. And she did mention like SmartFed principle or the Bechdel test or X movie or the Oscar nominees or whatever. She decides to do a Kickstarter for $6,000 to do a series on women in video games. And she would it'd be talking about like I think this is bad that they've got big boobs or whatever the problem was. And 4chan exploded. And there was just this rage and this hate and these campaigns to get all her stuff taken down on YouTube, and they they attacked her site, and they found her address, and this happened to one of the girls on our site too, by the way, the address thing, and yeah, and she was incredibly brave about it, and she's still really controversial, because every time someone posts something about her online, they'll, you see this, like, this comment thread always includes someone like, well, she can't take criticism, or she, you know, I disagree with her, blah, blah, blah. Which is fine, but I was honestly, like, really kind of impressed by her ability to, you know, actually stay strong and stay the course. So that happened, and I guess that opened up a lot of
Big jokes and like pictures, people make pictures.
oh yeah, someone made a video game about beating her face, and it's like you punch her in the face and she gets progressively beaten of her. And the guy on Twitter said he did that because she didn't respond to one of his comments. And whenever, yes.
I want to ask, why do you think he did that? Why? I mean, if you were going to psychoanalyze this person as much as you could based on this action, any thoughts?
Slowly.
Slowly. Anyone else? Just shout it out.
Threaten.
Threatened. Small hands. All these things are probably true, and this is the kind of person, you know, if we're just going to generalize, that will be negative on the internet in any case. To women, to men, to bunny rabbits.
Gay ones.
Yeah, because, you know, with you, an anonymous medium, those people who are insecure, who feel threatened, who are quick to jump to action, who normally can get away with this in the real world can. So you're going to defilter. But what it really comes down to, I think, why we're here today is to talk about what to do about that when you are, as a woman, on the internet, in that situation, how to handle it, how maybe we can change it and make it better in the future.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of, you know, there was a lot of dumb out there, and I think the keyword of that guy was entitled. He said, I'm going to keep this game up until she responds. And I'm sitting here thinking, she has zero obligation to respond to you. I don't care if she's out there being like, you know, having like, Hitler was actually a poor abused bunny rabbit campaign. You know, no matter what awful shit she's saying in your mind, she has no obligation to respond to you. Nobody does. You know, if you want to stay quiet, that's your prerogative. And I think, I don't know, like, and it's like, I've seen a similar thing go down with one of the other girls on our site, that I don't think she was prepared for in the gender way it went down, how a lot of people kind of came down to you're a slut, you're a gold digger, like they went after the gender part.
I'm gonna ask what should I stand up?
Yeah.
Instead of yelling at this person. What do you think is why do you think it still comes down to oftentimes when somebody, like, as a female on the internet, if they want to, like, really attack you, instead of it being, like, about your video or your something else, a lot of times they still go back to your breast showing or you're slutty or something about being a woman, whereas, like, with a male, it's more, like, about their, like, something, like, about their actual work. Like, it still turns to gender and, like, you should attack
Women are the default.
But I think with the internet medium, the reason you see that more with internet women than you see with movie stars or TV stars is that level of accessibility. That barrier between the viewer and the person on the screen is that much less, and they can feel that much more threatened. And if someone sees a woman who's showing cleavage and that makes them uncomfortable, they'll, you know, attack her for it. Where they see, you know, Selma Hayek showing cleavage, they don't care.
That's great.
I was going to say too, it's different as well because as a comic artist, I don't really put my face out there at all. I'm more an icon, more characters I draw. But even so, if someone's going to attack you, or sometimes they'll attack me, it will be based on gender, and it's just very obvious. So, you know, they might not even know what I look like, but they're going to start like calling you names that they think are going to hurt you based on your shape.
Who does Harvey Baker? Yeah. Like, I found it's kind of like something awful over. Because I used to be working on something awful. I still do, but I kind of have like they don't have it. and they often talk about how Kate Beaton was on the forums for a very short while, and they immediately got weird and creepy with gender and chased her right in the loft. Like, I don't even think they said nasty things. They were just like, man, I guess sign up to that comic book artist.
It's like if they like your work, it's not if they like your work, it's oh god, I want to have babies with them. That's so weird. It's like, why would you say that? It's appreciated as it is, you know. This is how I show my confidence.
Yeah, I don't think it's a compliment.
Basically, it's they think that compromising is the highest form of art.
That is all we care about.
I know. I mean, if you're walking down the street and someone says, "Hey, girl, you're looking fine," and you're like, "Whatever, bitch, you look I'm sorry.
I love it when that happens.
I'm like, why are you hitting on me? I'm so mad. It's just your sense of entitlement.
Yeah, the keyword here is
And I think that is a hard thing to let go of.
because everyone's a little entitled.
Do any of the three of you give feminists on your case for being the way you are, or is it generally on your side?
Oh, hold on.
Feminists don't like your achievements either, do they?
They're so angry. Like, I mean, it's like there's the feminists, and then there's the well, no, I mean, what's the word for
Feminazi?
Female supremacists.
No. The gender needs to be abolished. I don't know what it's like. Don't use gendered pronouns, people. Yeah, neutrals. Oh, hold on. That leads me to another. Alright. So my darling love Todd. That was another. Yeah. Oh yeah. There it is. Oh yeah. Next episode. So my boyfriend Todd. He also is that guy with the glasses. If you're familiar with him, you probably know he's not a big fan of Chris Brett. Chris Brown is kind of horrible. That's what he did. And we found this. He made a video about Rihanna's S&M that mentioned the whole Chris Brown thing. And somehow or other, this person read that. So yeah, it's like her name is Charlie. She's not gendered. Her preferred pronouns are they, them, and then she underlined this. Do not tolerate rape jokes ever. You're never, ever, ever allowed to joke about horrible things. That's its own issue. So she found his video and, no, fucking no. If you're reviewing S&M and you make a joke about how Rihanna likes to be tied up and beaten, ha ha ha, I guess Chris got it right then, then you are a despicable piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you that you think that would ever be an okay thing to say? Fuck you to the 9 hells and back, to in the shadows, you're a piece of shit.
What did Todd actually say?
What did Todd actually say? Todd? Well, he said a lot of things. Pretty sure he didn't say that Chris got it right.
He said that the fact that she was singing about S&M made it uncomfortable.
Yeah, he said that the fact that she was singing about a song basically saying I like being hit kind of was awkward given the history. So then this happened, and then there was it kind of kept getting blocked. See, it's like it just kind of hit motherfucker. I'm glad I'm not a Todd the Shadows fan because fuck, piece of shit. Like they don't even look. And yeah, like I guess I've heard in my case it's more the like if I say like something's not a big deal, is a lot of time there's someone else will be like, no, it is a big deal. Fuck you. I had a lot about like I said something about Hindu conservatives, which like any religious extreme are kind of bad, and people don't like push for that. But yeah, it's stuff like that. You get it from both sides, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
just that this person heard Todd's video one way, blogged about it, and everyone who saw it took it that way. It kind of got a following, and people will take that up and repeat it without going back to the source and judging for themselves. And this happens with a lot of things on the internet, in Tumblr especially.
Tumblr is a feedback loop.
So if you find something like this about yourself, say this was about Todd, say it was about you, what do you do about it?
Ignore it. Because there's nothing you can do about it.
You do absolutely nothing.
There's nothing you can do. Because to me, my best way to respond to criticism is to either incorporate it or not. You know, if it's good criticism, I incorporate it. If it's not, I ignore it.
A lot of people would see this and respond to it and say, you didn't watch the video, here's a link, you should really listen to what I actually said, you know, and that's understandable, but it will not work. It never works. It only makes it worse. The only thing you can do is to ignore it.
Okay. Oh, actually, it looks like we're running out of time. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Going back to the you can't swear you're a girl, do you find as celebrities now that you're always watching over your shoulder what you do, what you say? Or are you like, you know, screw that, I'm going to be me?
No, I find that I do it less. Like, I care less what people think as the more I do it. Because I think that is, if you guys take anything away from this, is like if you're doing anything content in general on the internet, you need a thick skin. It's just part of the you know, territory. Yeah, I mean, either you hide your gender or you have a thick skin. And but I guess since like my views were enough that the more honest I was, the higher they were. And I still get a lot of people that are like, I liked you better before you know, got all analytical. And I'm like, well, okay, but I feel more honest this way. So yeah, it was a thing.
Do you consider yourselves feminist? Like, I think a lot of people might shy away from calling themselves feminist because there's a lot of
negative.
there's a lot of like perception. Yeah.
Yeah, insofar as I like having a job, and I feel like people kind of misrepresent, like, you know, being a feminist doesn't mean no one ever opens the door for me. You know, you just want to be treated equally for doing your thing. And whatever people like, oh, you know, I believe in differently, or I'm not a feminist, like, no, I should are. You're just shying away from that work because you're supposed to be dirty.
As I understand it, it's being treated equally. I know talk about this. Like, oh no, like, I don't think that.
Yes, that is what feminism is. We get together on the weekends, paint targets over men's faces, and poo at them. And then curse the patriarchy because we are oppressed.
I guess when it comes down to it, it's just kind of explain that to something like they react to that way too. It's like, no, it's not legit. Yeah, me too. It's
Like, modern feminism is not an extreme, it's just like, I don't know. I think it's almost kind of like a belief system that it's different for every person. Everyone has a different threshold. Yeah, I guess, but I kind of feel like most people are feminists, whether they admit it or not.
I think a lot of people like think that there's no reason for it anymore, and that like everything
That
is
is
equal.
bullshit.
But yeah, it's not really,
Tell your friends
equal.
that's bullshit.
Before you did Raven, you were mostly known as the makeover fairy. It's not the best example of a female character. And did that have an impact on how you were perceived or how people reacted?
Not really. I mean, playing a character like that for the sake of comedy, well, people are surprised by that. Maybe that's true, but like, people never believed. I don't think anybody thought I was stupid because I think they thought it was funny, and you know, it takes a certain measure of intelligence to be funny. But you know, with playing a character like that, we're making fun of it, whereas we're not glorifying that kind of character. That the makeover fairy was never
there any difference between, like, say, moderate feminism and just general equality, or is it just dealing specifically with the issues of oppression against women, particularly in
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's any difference. I feel like it's like if your issue is equality, then that by definition is what women and men. It just happens to have the word feminine in it, which is like, once again, people are like, I'm an equalist, like, okay, that's what that word means, but if the word feminism makes you uncomfortable, then maybe you have a little blatant misogyny in your brain and how to address it.
Because there are, unfortunately, some people who do call themselves feminists who believe in, you know, again, female supremacy, having, like, privileged status for women. Sort of like, men were privileged for so long.
They call themselves female supremacists.
Yeah. Like, because at least like white supremacists are honest about what they want. Why can't female supremacists start a new movement? I don't know, I feel like those are kind of in like, yeah, kind of an extreme minority to the point where I don't, like, I think like, Movie Bob had a really good analogy, like yeah, I guess that exists in the way that the white buffalo exists, but it's such a, I mean, I've honestly never met anyone like that, but I think, on the other hand, a lot of people see like Anita something like that, but I guess I'm kind of used to it, because like, I went to NYU, everybody's like, Ghostbusters is about Reaganomics, you know, it's like, I think it feels kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm not the best person to find it, but...
So you give advice to women for how to respond to misogyny and ignoring. What about everybody else?
I don't know, just ignore it. Like, I feel like you have to pick your battles, or you're gonna
This misogyny was crazy. I ignore the crazy.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it's like, when it, I mean, like with our nameless girl who was getting barraged by horrible misogynistic stuff recently, there was, I mean, it was the worst situation for everybody, because there was literally nothing any of us could do without making it worse. We couldn't come out and support her. We couldn't, like, say anything to these guys, and she couldn't say anything, because we all knew there was, like, literally nothing we could do to make it better, but she could put our heads down and go roll over. But on the other hand, sometimes, if you feel like you have the energy for it, you know, and you want to draw attention to an issue, do it. But it's a question of, do you have the energy and the thick-skinnedness?
It will be hard. And in answer to your question about women ignoring me versus everyone else ignoring me, I think everyone should ignore trolls. If someone is not a troll that has an issue with something you did and they bring it up and it's a negative comment, they are not trolling you. You can engage them. I recommend doing it privately. If you feel you need to set an example for public view, do it. Do not do that for your ego to make you look better. Take it to a private place if that's all it is. The only reason to do it publicly is, like I said, pick your battles. If you really need to share something.
She's had her
No, I'm just wondering if you've ever gone beyond, like you said, someone on the site has had pictures of their house, like where they live, posted on like their address posted.
Someone sent graphic question mark. She didn't tell me what it was, but they sent her pictures of something.
Yeah, like knowing where you live, like to that extent, like taking it offline. Have like you guys found that possibly like at that point you need like police intervention? Like
She called the cops. Yeah. She called the cops.
I've fortunately never but I always in the wrong possibility. I mean, yeah. I think it really, it varies from person to person. Like, from situation to situation. I think the worst thing anyone can do is just engage with every negative comment, because not only are you giving people attention, you just want negative attention, you're making yourself look bad. And but on the other hand, you know, it really is like, I'm sick of this happening, and I want other people to know that. And you feel like you have the energy to potentially get a 4chan pummeling, and you know, that's great, but you gotta be careful.
And it has to be worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I censor myself with political stuff. Because in America, it's like, you can be like, look at the hot summer. Global warming is a lie! I don't want to deal with that shit. I'll often censor political stuff just because I want to deal with it. Unless because like I'm about to do an episode on Ender's Game. And I talk a lot about Orson Scott Card and the dumb shit he says online. Which mostly has to do with gay marriage. And so that one's I'm like, you know what? I know I'm going to get pushback from this, but you know, I feel really strongly about this issue, so I'll take one for the team. Yeah, that guy.
Just to kind of go in the opposite direction of trolls, do you have examples of positive impacts you've had being girls on the internet?
Well, yeah, it's nice when I
was just going to say, I think it's great when you're able to inspire other girls to just now want to do video as well, because it's like, yeah, your example is something that I would like to do. Like, one of the best compliments I can get from I've made is that someone now is like, oh, I can just put this in mind and like build a community, and there are a lot of really great people on there as well. It's just unfortunate that the bad ones are the ones who remember something like Marcus.
Giving us come on.
It's also nice when the guys say they like our stuff too, because it's like you're taking what you're hearing our like with the I Am Legend episode, like there were like pages and pages and pages of comments talking about like the alternate ending and the meaning of the movie, and then finally like on page like 3 or 4 someone's like, no one has mentioned her breasts yet. What is this world coming to? And I was so disappointed. And I was like, yeah, you know, it's people kind of actually like listen to our words. I think it's like there are a lot of like in web series especially like girl shows where it's just like hot for words and script girl and sexy adjective girl and like and it's kind of like their shtick, and it's you know it's nice when people come to hear our mouth words.
And you think about those shows where they have the really hot chick reviewing a movie.
The Olivia Munn.
Yeah, wearing a bikini. And maybe people are watching for the movie reviews, but most of the people watching it watch it on YouTube. And if they're just doing that to get views because they want to make some money, it will work. Yes, it's a gimmick, but if they have views, they want to get out there, they have opinions that they want to share, that's not going to work.
I don't know, like I saw a sexy bikini girl reviews on YouTube, and her views were nowhere near as good as mine. I'm just saying. Alright, I guess one last.
In the mean of that, and I'm not talking about like when they're in the bikini and they're all just pandering, but when you think you can, on the internet, like say make a video or a song or whatever, have a girl that looks sexy, but she's also smart. And
why not? I think Alicia Day does it.
It kind of comes off as both and never tugs into the way.
Can I think of an example? Because a lot of times sexies don't. At least like the easy sexies, like you know, airhead. Can anyone think of any examples where a girl is sexy and engaging and intelligent at the same time?
She makes YouTube videos. She just, I don't know, I think that she just mainly like really like her like videos, but
Honestly, it's the West.
I know of.
Something they could show.
Yeah, that's how it works. I've never actually done it.
What's her name? Like Winnie Cooper all in one.
Oh yeah, Danica McKellar. She does like a math show now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got a master.
Right, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. This is another little line out tonight. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for coming out. I wish we had more time and more room.